Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for the deadline stream. So we hope everyone's doing well on this Saturday morning or evening now. Oh, not evening, afternoon, I should say. Yeah, how you doing, Jordan? We're into December already. Football is going to be coming thick and fast. Have a lot of games to come. Midweek football again. So you looking forward to the festive period?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the festive period. Hope you guys are as well. It's fast approaching. Before we know it, it's going to be Christmas Day. But in terms of football, it's going to be very busy this December. It's going to be really good, really hectic at the same time. But yeah, we're going to enjoy producing all this content for you guys in terms of fantasy football. Yeah, it should be a good one.
Should be a good one for sure. We've got Scouser in the chat. It says, "Hello, lads. Hello, mate. Hope you're well." Yeah, there's a lot to discuss. Definitely a lot of potential flags, injuries that we've got to talk about. So yeah, it should be a good stream. So I'll kick it off with on the screen, as you guys can see, is my team currently. Now, for those that did watch our video on Thursday, it was a team selection video. I actually done my moves early. So on Sunday, last Sunday night, I actually did my two moves, which was to bring in Saliba for Matty Cash and to bring in Mbumo for Diaby. So I had two free transfers. I've used both my free transfers now. And as we know, or yesterday or the day before, Watkins has come up as a potential issue in the team. So that is the big dilemma for me in my team, especially with no free transfers currently. So just to read off my team, I've got Areola in goal. I have a back three of Saliba, Gabriel, Tsimikas. In the midfield five, I have Saka, Mbumo, Son, Palmer, and Salah. And up front, I've got Haaland, captain currently, and then Watkins, who's also a flag, who's potentially an issue. And I will come on to what I think of that in a sec. And on the bench, I've got Strakoshka, Taylor, Livramento, and Archer. So that's the 11. And yeah, I think we've got to speak about Watkins. But before we talk about Watkins, just read us through your 11, Jordan, and how you're lining up, because you've got a couple of more flags than I do.
Yeah, wonderful flags. I've got Areola in goal, back three of Tsimikas, Luka Dean, and Trippier. The midfield four, Mitoma, who's not flagged anymore, so that's good news. Son, Bowen, and Saka. Up front, we got the three forwards, Watkins, Alvarez, and Haaland. And on the bench, Leno, Taylor, Branthwaite, and Andreas.
Okay, nice one. I mean, you're probably glad Mitoma's fit. I don't know what you're going to do with him now, if you're going to keep him or not. Just let's start off with Mitoma, because that's a player that's like on your team that you've had that was flagged. You was worried about him. Is he now a definite keep for you? Because the fixture's not the easiest, but Chelsea aren't great. You don't know what you're going to get from Chelsea either.
No, but with the situation that's currently at the moment, with Watkins now flagged, and I think Bowen being a doubt as well, that's put me in a position where I probably have to play Mitoma, regardless if he starts or not. And he played about, what was it, 70 minutes?
70, yeah.
In the play and the other competitions.
Europa League.
So yeah, Europa League. So I'm not sure whether he'll start or not, Zerbi, if he will play him, but I know he'll get minutes in that game regardless. So I'm in a position to just play him, I think, because I don't want to take him out now, knowing that he can be fit and ready to play.
Moving along then to Bowen, you've got a flag currently. What's your thoughts with Bowen? Just to clarify with everyone in the stream, how many free transfers and how much money in the bank do you have?
I've got 2 free transfers and I've got 1.6 million in the bank.
So Bowen, I'm assuming he's a sell for you. Is that right? Is that correct to say, or?
No, not quite.
Okay, talk us through your plans then with your team.
Do you want to see my transfer page?
Yeah, well, you can go on the transfer page and talk us through what you're thinking, because obviously you were looking at Salah potentially. Obviously, that could be a bit of an issue as well with Watkins. I want to know what you're doing with Watkins as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it is stopping me from bringing Salah in this game week, but my current plans are. I mean, this has been a massive headache for me because it's been such a change the last coming days of injuries popping up and whatnot. But I am sticking with. I am changing the player. I am keeping Alvarez because I was going to take him out, but I'm actually going to take out Watkins because I think he'd
Ooh.
be a he's a doubt for Bournemouth. He's not ruled out completely, but he is a massive doubt for that Bournemouth fixture. I don't necessarily think Emery needs to really risk him for that fixture. No offense to Bournemouth, it shouldn't be a tricky task for Aston Villa, so they should do fine without him, and you should rest him for the big games that they have coming up afterwards because they've got Man City and Arsenal next. So I have a feeling Emery will rest Ollie Watkins for those two games because they're going to be more important to win those 3 points. So I'm going to take out Watkins instead.
Mm-hmm.
And in place to Watkins, I'm going to bring in Archer still. So that still stands the same. I'm going to bring Archer in still, but taking out Watkins instead. And yeah, this is difficult now because I could either take out Bowen or Son, but I still want Bowen long term. I don't think his injury is serious. And so I'm going to take out Son, I think, still. Because
Okay.
I can't take out anyone else in the midfield. I
How
can
much
take
does that leave you in the bank though? You got
14.6.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it does leave me a little bit more money because I've taken out Watkins because he's more expensive.
Mm.
And yeah, I'll bring in Salah into my team.
He had a price rise last night as well, Salah, so he's now 13.1.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Because that sort of rules me out of bringing in Bomo in for -4 because I had the exact money to do it.
Yeah.
But that price rise means
And
yeah, I got one.
Bumo's actually gone up in price as well. I think he's 7.1 now.
Oh, right. So yeah, I can't get in Boomer in one way or another. But I have 1.5 million in the bank after making those two transfers. I don't think I want to take a -4 at this point.
So who would you be playing? What would the formation be?
It'll be
You're going to
three.
start Archer.
Yeah, I'll start Archer because he's got Burnley away, so that's not a bad fixture to start him in. And yeah, I play the 3 forwards, and I play the 4 in the midfield, just resting on Bowen if he starts or not. But I'll play him anyway, Bowen. If he doesn't, then Andreas will probably come on for him, and I have a midfield 4, and I have a back 3 of Luca Dean, Simicast, and Trippier.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. That's your plans then. 2 free transfers with Salah coming in. Switching back over to my team, we'll take this comment as well. Actually, question for Jordan: do you think because of United's problems with the travel, there will be an easy clean sheet for Newcastle? So I don't know if you've seen the news, but obviously, Manchester United was supposed to get a flight over to Newcastle. For whatever reason, I think the weather that's been, it's been cancelled. So they're now having to take a coach up to Newcastle for a 3-hour trip with a coach. So do you think that will affect Man United's preparations potentially?
Yeah, will have some effect on them, that delay, I think, because when you don't have obviously that schedule set up and it's all gone out of plan, then yeah, it will affect the players. Bit of frustration, I think, in between that and the fact that Newcastle are home and Man United are away. It's going to be a really tough fixture itself, being an away game. So yeah, I think there will be some problems for United.
Yeah, I would be avoiding United assets for this game. I don't see a win for United here. I'd be surprised if they get anything, if I'm being honest, especially with how strong Newcastle are at home. I don't think
Really.
it's a great game to have United players for. So if you've got if you've got a Newcastle defender like a Trippier, I've got Livramento who I could play, so it's not the worst thing. Mark says, "Hi, thoughts on bringing in Saka, Bumo, and Mubama or Archer?" Sorry, where's the comment gone again? Sorry, hi, thoughts on bringing in Saka, Bumo, and Mubama for Martinelli, Elliot Anderson, and Watkins for a -4. I'm not sure about that, if I'm being honest.
So you bring in Saka, who has Wolves, and Mbemo, who has Luton, and Obama, who has, I think, Sheffield.
Now, I think there's no need to do. I don't like taking Martinelli out personally. I think Martinelli's a hold if you have him, because I think I saw a stat somewhere. Wolves have conceded most of their goals down Martinelli's side, down Wolves' right hand side, which is obviously Arsenal's left. Martinelli could actually be a decent pick against Wolves. I like Saka for this week, as I've got Saka in my team, but I wouldn't be wanting to take Martinelli out for Saka, which feels sort of sideways, even though I do think Saka's a better pick slightly, but I just feel like it's just a waste of a -4. I like Mbeumo in. I think definitely do Mbeumo in for whoever you can. And then again, up front, Watkins is the one, because I'm in the same dilemma. Because as you guys know, I don't have any free transfers left because I've used both my free transfers. Would you take Watkins out for a hit, Jordan?
Yeah, I'll probably take him out now because he has Arsenal and Liverpool next. So you're not
Arsenal
really
and
gonna.
City.
Sorry, Arsenal and City next. So you're not really gonna want to play Watkins against those two teams. Even though he's been really good this season, scoring goals,
Yeah.
I still wouldn't play him against those two fixtures. So if he's not going to play in the Bournemouth one, which is the last nice fixture for Aston Villa, then you might as well take him out now. If you're going to take him out in 15 and 16, then you might as well take the -4 now to bring him out.
One thing I'll go the opposite way. You know, I think the one good thing about Watkins, I should say, against Man City, Arsenal, they're both home games. So Aston Villa at home are very, very good. They're a top 4 side now, essentially. You know, they're basically the Newcastle of last season. So Man City at home, Arsenal at home, I don't think they're not great fixtures, but I still think Aston Villa, how attacking they are, they can get goals in those games. And also the big thing with Ollie Watkins is game week 18. Now we know game week 18 is a blank game week. He has arguably the best fixture that week against Sheffield at home. And he could even be captain potential that week because, as we know, Haaland won't have a fixture in game week 18. Salah plays Arsenal in game week 18. So who are you going to captain in game week 18? Watkins as a game week 18 captaincy pick could be very beneficial because he's got the easy fixture against Sheffield. So you might want Watkins for 18. I probably would want him for 18, but that's where the tricky dilemma comes in for me, because for the next, Darwin, for example, if I was to take Watkins out, if I had a free transfer, I probably would take Watkins out for Darwin because I like Darwin's fixtures the next 3. However, Liverpool have a 2-day turnaround in between game week 14 and 15 and then 15 and 16. So Darwin will probably miss 1 game anyway on the bench. So it is a trickier one than it looks first up, I'd say. Like, I'm not sure, like, it's as cut and dry as just take Watkins out, he's injured, because mainly because game week 18, because as I said, no Haaland and Salah plays Arsenal. Got a comment here from Yemex. The best FPL Duo on YouTube. Big up you, man. Thank you, Yemex. Thanks you for the comment. Appreciate that. But yeah, John, what do you make of Watkins? Because if you was to take him out, which it looks like you are planning to do, game week 18 comes along. Would you want him back in for your team, or would you get rid of him now for?
Yeah, I would get rid of him until game week 18. I think that was my my long-term plan, was to bring him in for Alvarez, who blanked in game week 18. So I'm hoping there's no more surprises, that I can easily do that transfer to Alvarez to Watkins.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, yeah, I don't think I'll be bringing him back in with the fixtures he has after Bournemouth.
Yeah, and it depends on your free transfers as well. Because you're doing it for free, I think it's maybe easier to do it. With me, it's for a -4. Would you still do it for a -4?
Yeah, I'll still do it for -4. Absolutely. If I'm not looking to play Watkins in the next 3 game weeks, then yeah, I'll do it for -4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. Because I still think he's such a good pick that he probably will score potentially against City or Arsenal. I can see him scoring, if I'm being honest. I still rate Aston Villa at home, 2 home fixtures. I do like Villa a lot. I think they're a very good team, but yeah, I'm waiting for news on Watkins. I think we saw on Twitter, there could be news surrounding Watkins. So if I hear Watkins is 100% going to miss out, I'll take the -4, get him out.
Yeah.
If I think if he's travelled and he's gonna play, then I would keep him for another week, and then I wouldn't be against playing him against City. But just to show you guys the player that a lot of people are looking at bringing in, and that is obviously Darwin Núñez.
Oh, I was thinking of another player that could potentially be brought in.
Hold that thought for a sec.
Yeah.
We'll just quickly cover Darwin quickly. So as you can see, in terms of fixtures, there's no better than Liverpool right now. If in the terms of the next 3 fixtures, it's Fulham at home, and then 2 away games against Sheffield and Palace. And Liverpool are statistically the best attack in the league in terms of expected goals and in terms of big chances created. Liverpool rank number 1 in the league. So with that being said, I do like Darwin massively as an option. And you guys know how much I've bigged up Darwin in past streams, saying that I do like bringing him in potentially for this stretch. And Watkins being out has kind of pushed me towards that. But the only issue with Darwin is, as I said, in game week 14 or this week, he'll probably start against Fulham because he didn't play or he didn't start in the Europa League on Thursday. But then 3 days later is Sheffield, and then 3 days later is Palace for a 12:30 kickoff. I don't see Darwin starting all 3 games. I see him probably being benched for Sheffield potentially, and which is arguably the best game out of the 3. So what do you think of that? Like in terms of would you be bringing Darwin in, or who's your striker pick that you're looking at bringing in? Obviously,
yeah, my one I was thinking of bringing in to my team was going to be Isak. I think even though it's a risk, as we all know, he could be injured at any time. But I think with the run of fixtures that Isak has, and the fact that he's been on quite a scoring run since his absence or being injured previously, and with the run of fixtures that Newcastle have now, they're sort of switched, become more easier, and Wilson being out as well for a couple of weeks. I think that just means Isak is just the main man up front for Newcastle. And as we've seen, if either Wilson or Isak are playing as an individual player in the starting 11, you see more goals coming from either one of them. And we are seeing that from Isak once again. So as a differential pick, if I was going to bring in a player go different this week, I would go with Isak, whose ownership is considerably low, 14.3%. And considerably cheap, 7.5. So yeah, I think Isak is a good player to bring in against Man United at home.
Yeah, I like Isak as well. Again, his ownership is 14.3%. Looking at the fixture, obviously it's Manchester United at home. I don't think that's a tough fixture. I think that's just a decent fixture for Newcastle, really. I know Man United have kept a couple clean sheets in a row, but they've been quite fortunate in those clean sheets. After that, Everton's decent. Spurs, Fulham, Luton. And game week 18 is the big one, obviously, because it is a blank game week for Haaland. And Salah has Arsenal in game week 18. Luton at away could be a very nice fixture for Isak if you own him for that fixture. So the only problem with Isak is we did get an update from Eddie Howe saying, Wilson could be back soon. And we know when Wilson is back, it's always annoying because you don't really know who's going to start down the middle. It could be either one. And then that would be my worry. If Wilson comes back for game week 16, for example, if he plays the 17 fixture against Fulham, then Isak, you're always wondering, is he going to start Isak or is he going to start Wilson? So that's the reason only where I don't like Isak. But you could say the same thing about Darwin. There's Gakpo that can play in especially the next 3 weeks. Darwin, I don't think will start 3 out of 3, more 2 out of 3, in my opinion. But those two are definitely seemed like the best options, right? Darwin and Isak for Watkins if you're looking to take him out.
Yeah, absolutely, with the run of fixtures as well. And I believe Gakpo did start in that, was it Champions League match that Liverpool played?
Yeah, Gakpo started.
So
Gakpo started in the Europa League.
Yeah, so that does give Darwin a good spot to play, obviously, in this game week. As he's over him.
Yeah, so definitely, I think with the way it's set up, those two strikers is what I'd be going for. Isak and Darwin for me are the two I'll be looking at. So yeah, just going back to the teams then. Um, in terms of your transfers, are you sold on the two moves then you're looking at in terms of Salah and Archer? That was your moves, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ignore the Mbemo and Hwang. I was just playing around with that. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm set on the Salah and Archer for definite. Whether I take a -4, I'm still contemplating that, and I'm glad we have enough time to do that because I'm not completely ruling out a -4. If I'm
Okay.
honest, I'm
Who,
just not
-4
sure
for
about
who?
Matoma. I'm just not sure whether if he's going to start or not.
I
'Cause
think
I
he'll
know,
start. It depends whether
yeah,
you want him like longer term. I think he'll start, to be honest.
yeah,
But who are
because
you
we
looking
just
at for Matoma?
for Matoma, I'm looking at in Burma, I think,
Okay.
for
Yeah,
this week.
obviously Mbermo is a popular
Yeah,
pick this week, and obviously
yeah,
you don't have him in your team, and he's the highest transferred in player, I think, this week as well.
yeah, and he's 31% owned. So if he gets anything like the fixture, a massive haul, then it's going to be very, very annoying, obviously to the rank. So yeah, I could bring in a Mbeumo for a -4 potentially, but still thinking about doing it. I don't think it's set in stone yet.
Mhm. Okay, we've got Calvin in FPL as well, who says, "All right, lads. Yep. I hope you're well, Calvin. Not always nice to see you." Um, but yeah, let's switch it back to my team. I don't actually know what to do with Watkins as well. I'm hoping we get some news, but at the moment, if we don't get news, do I want to play Archer? Not really, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's not a bad fixture to play Archer in because it is Burnley, even though it's an away fixture. Sort of like a decent game for Archer to play.
Comment here from BDO Plays. I don't know what you mean, mate. So you'll have to put an actual comment in. I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, if you guys are tuning into the stream, make sure you do hit that like button, guys. Make sure you are also subscribing to the channel. I'm just looking at if you were me, like, would you play Archer or would you do Darwin in for -4 in that sense?
If it was me, I'd probably play Archer to avoid taking a -4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too keen on playing Archer. I just don't think he's a great pick. Like, I know he scored that goal against Wolves, and then he also scored against Everton early on for that 12-pointer, and he got the
Yeah,
assist. But
that's
his
what gives me.
underlying data is pretty poor.
Yeah, that's what gives me a bit more confidence on Archer because he's scored in games where obviously Wolves have been really good this season, but it is a game where they can concede. And the other fixture where he scored that 12-pointer against who was it against? Against Everton, who
Everton, yeah.
again have conceded a lot of goals this season. It's the same for Burnley. They have conceded a lot of goals this season. There could be a potential maybe goal and assist for Archer, even though he's only scored 2 and assisted 1 this game.
But the problem with Archer is he has 0.07 expected goals per 90 as a striker, which is honestly actually shocking. In the last game,
Yeah,
he played 90 minutes. He had 0.0 xg against Brighton in game week 12. He had 0.0 xg. The games he scored against Wolves, he had an xg of 0.05, and then against Everton, he had an xg of 0.17. And obviously, he scored a 12-point in that game. He's not getting many great chances to score, and I just don't. I could just see a blank from him, even in the easier fixtures against Burnley away. I just don't like relying on Archer
yeah.
personally.
In the past games, he has been a bit isolated up front. The lone striker, a bit like how Rashford was at Man United. It's just there was no like connection or feed going towards Archer in games, and that just caused him to not really get any chances. Hopefully, though, the manager tweaks it. Maybe
Yeah,
it gets it more involved for Archer.
yeah. That's what's leading me to take the -4 rather than play Archer. Or I could play Livramento and play an extra defender. Play Livramento or Taylor, because Taylor has a decent fixture against Sheffield, which I can see a clean sheet, if I'm being honest, because I don't really rate Sheffield at all. That's why I'm kind of against playing Archer. I literally could play Taylor, who has kept he kept a clean sheet against. No, sorry, he didn't keep a clean sheet, has he? But yeah, he scored a goal, didn't he? I remember that a couple of weeks ago against Bournemouth, I think it was. So yeah, could play him. Livramento potentially against Man United. Would you go there and start him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll probably go for. I'm starting Trippier, who's got Man United, and even though that's like a tough fixture at home for Newcastle, they could have had a clean sheet against Chelsea if it wasn't for that one goal that conceded. So there is a chance Newcastle can keep a clean sheet against Man United.
Yeah, they're definitely a chance. It's just whether I decide to play Livramento. I do believe he will start. He was really good in the Champions League against PSG. So Livramento definitely one that I could just play him and rather than take the -4 for Darwin. But I just feel like I'm getting Darwin FOMO. Like I just feel like Darwin could do a bit of a mad one. I don't know. Like it's just a feeling I have. The fixtures look great.
Yeah, the only thing that annoys me with Darwin is if he misses the chances he has a lot in the game. That's like we've seen before. That's what would proper annoy him if I brought out Darwin in and he just manages to somehow blank, even though he's had many chances to score goals.
Yeah, he has, but Darwin he's only played 680 minutes so far this season. He's got 4 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. So I actually think he's doing pretty well. I know there are clips potentially of him missing big chances, but we've seen him return at a good rate, really. Against Brentford, he did get that assist. He got a goal and an assist in game week 10. He got an assist against Everton, playing half an hour. Got an assist against Brighton. However, he does only have in his last 4 games. He has 4 starts. He'd had 1 goal in his last 4 starts. So 1 goal and 2 assists. So it's not the best, but he has had Man City, Brentford in that run as well. Luton obviously was a disappointing one where Liverpool drew, but he could have scored in that Luton game. But yeah, I just still feel like he's a high ceiling pick. High risk, high reward is what I feel like it is with Darwin. And that is why I'm getting a bit of FOMO in that sense about with Darwin, that is. But just take a few comments in regards to your team. Do you think you could swap Bowen for Gordon if he doesn't play?
Bowen for Gordon. Yes, I could, but it would mean. I mean, yeah, I could do that, but again, I don't want to take out Bowen because if he's not out for long term and only short, then I want Bowen back because if we look at the fixtures Bowen has, they're really good until game week 18 when he has, well, if you consider that a difficult fixture, but let's say game week 19 when he has Arsenal away. From now till then, especially when Bowen plays in the blank as well, they have really good fixtures.
I mean, I would be selling Bowen. I think he's an easy sell for me if I had him, especially if you got Watkins as well. I think Watkins is the one where you could keep, but for me, Bowen's a sell because if he doesn't play against Palace, and as far as we're aware, David Moyes has said, what did David Moyes say? He said something like, "We're going to check with the medical team if he's fit." So let's assume he misses out against Palace. After that is Spurs, which, depending on what you think of Spurs, they've had lost 3 games in a row now. Could be a tougher game. Fulham and Wolves aren't too bad. After that is Man United, Arsenal. So depends what your long-term plans are, I guess. But yeah, I'm not too fond of Bowen because especially when he missed last game week, I think that was a chance to offload him. Then if he misses another one, then it's a bit annoying that you've held on to Bowen, who's 7.6 million, when he might miss 2 games in a row, which is quite big at this stage in the season.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, this is why it's given me such a headache in terms of what's the right way to go with this. But with that in mind now, it's I'm glad we got the time to think about this because my transfer plans could easily change through the course of this deadline stream as this -4 is looking more like it's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, I haven't ruled out -4. I could do that as well, just because I just have a feeling. I'm just looking for a reason to bring Darwin in, and Watkins potentially missing out is that reason. But I will wait for Darwin news, or Darwin news, Watkins news. If I feel like Watkins is going to play, then I'll just keep him. I just don't know if we're going to get any news. Let us know in the chat as well, guys, in terms of captaincy, because let's quickly discuss captaincy. So yeah, Triang707 with a comment. Who's your captain? We'll come on to that now. In terms of captaincy, what are we looking at? Because we've both got it on Haaland. I'm not, I think it's tight. Why Haaland over Salah? If that's the case, if you're going with Haaland.
Well, we've seen what Haaland can do. Obviously, he's pretty much matched Salah in most game weeks. But yeah, let's say the Chelsea one where Man City drew 4-4 away fixture. You got a double haul, 16 points, followed by in game week 13 where he scored against Liverpool, got a 7-pointer. It's any fixture, whether it's difficult or hard for Haaland or away or home, he can deliver, and it's not known how much he can deliver in a game. So going against Haaland, it's always been a difficult, obviously, choice to go for. But I think still at this stage, he's definitely a captain pick that I'll be sticking with. Even though Salah's got Fulham at home.
How close do you think it is between Erling Haaland and obviously Salah, like in terms of like percentages? Like, do you think it's Haaland for you, like definitely, or do you think Salah is a serious option? Obviously, he's got the. You would say Salah has the better fixture against Fulham. He has a good record against Fulham, Salah actually, and it's at home. I believe Liverpool playing at home as well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant fixture, even better than obviously Haaland's one against Spurs. And yeah, it's pretty close, I'd say. Pretty split 50-50 again this week on who goes for who. But I don't know. I'm feeling more safe going with Haaland, even though he has the more difficult fixture against Tottenham. Even though Salah could potentially outscore Haaland in Spurs, in Fulham. So yeah, I don't know if it's like a safety thing, whether we stick to Haaland because of his high ownership and effective ownership as well. But again, I don't think you can go wrong with this week. I think both will score. It just depends on who scores more points, because in the Chelsea game, they both got the same amount of points, 16 and 16. So we could see the same for this game week where Haaland can get, 20 points and Salah can match that with 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Haaland, BDL plays, I think Haaland, because so many injuries for Spurs in defense, which is fair. Spurs do play a high line, and that is exactly what Haaland likes, playing against a high line, running in behind, running into space. So yeah, Haaland, I mean, I'm on Haaland right now as well, going back to my team. It is close for me. I have, contemplated going Salah, but the reason I think I side with Haaland slightly is Salah did start in the Europa League on Thursday. Obviously, we know Haaland played Champions League. But I think, yeah, Spurs' defense, Spurs have lost 3 in a row. But, Alex Meacher says Liverpool's bogey team over the last few seasons has been Fulham. You can easily say the same about Spurs and Man City. Man City's bogey team has been Spurs. I know Man City have lost to Spurs quite a few times in the last couple of years. And Man City have actually struggled a lot to break Spurs down in recent seasons. So it's one of those. I think you can go with either one. And I think the injuries is maybe tipping it for me slightly more Haaland, because we know Spurs 3 in a row losses. But yeah, as I say, Spurs do have a very good record against City. But yeah, let us know who you're going for in the chat, guys. Who are you captaining? Are you going Salah? Are you going Haaland? Are you going someone different like Saka, for example, who's got Wolves? Let us know in the chat. Also, please do like the stream if you are watching. We've got more comments coming in. Also, we've kind of touched on this, Isak or Nunes. I think you prefer Isak, don't you?
Yeah, for this week, I prefer Isak. I think good pick, very underlooked one. Not many people have looked at the fixture for obviously Man United. They have Man United at home, so any home game for Newcastle, I think, is a good high scoring one. And with Isak being the lone striker and Wilson being absent, all the more reason to bring Isak in for a 1 week punt if you don't want to hold him for a long term. As we've spoken about, Wilson will be back in the next coming weeks from injuries, so that does give a bit of risk of rotation between the two. But just for this week, I think going for Isak could be a decent differential pick to go for.
Corey with the chat, should I bring Diaz or Martinelli? Yeah, for me, it's Luis Diaz. I think if I had to pick between those two, I think Diaz is another player that I think could be underlooked. Just looking at Diaz, he did score in the Europa League for Liverpool. He also came on, played 36 minutes against Man City. Obviously, we know Liverpool have the nice fixture run. Jota is out injured, so that makes Luis Diaz more appealing in terms of his minutes. And I just think Luis Diaz is again is a good pick to go for. You look at his ownership; it's still, I believe, 7.3% owned, so very low ownership differential. And the next three fixtures, I'll take a punt on it. You know, you might get 2 starts out of him because obviously we know Liverpool have a pretty quick turnaround between games from 14 and 16. But I think Diaz over Martinelli for sure. Alex with some stats about City. City have scored 9 goals in their last 3 home games v Spurs. Yeah, obviously City are a lot stronger at home. That's one thing to take into consideration. They do usually play better at home. But yeah, you can't really go wrong, I don't think, with Haaland or Salah. It's going to be a tight one, and it could be one of those weeks where we get a big fixture swing. Haaland v Salah captain, or Darwin v Nunes or Isak. Sorry, Darwin v Watkins or Isak v Watkins, I should say. So there could be a bit of a swing depending on those 2 picks, who you captain, and who's your second striker, basically. Any closer, Jordan, to thinking about what you're doing, like in terms of the moves?
I mean, yeah, I've been literally. Let me switch back. I've been literally going over my head, switching players in and out, seeing what works and what doesn't. And yeah, I'm still thinking about who to take out. I mean, I've taken out Bowie now, for in Bremo, and I've still got Watkins in. But yeah, I mean,
that means you go without Salah, I believe.
Yeah, I've still got Salah there. He's not going anywhere. But yeah, I've taken out Watkins for someone else because I've got 6.4 in the bank.
Could you not just bench Watkins and play the 5 in midfield and play Mitoma Andreas? You could do that.
Yeah, I'm not being sold on Mitoma Andreas that midfield. That's the only thing that's putting me off. Because Andreas has Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
I'm playing Tsimikas, so I expect Tsimikas to keep a clean sheet. So it's not worth actually having Andreas to play in the starting 11. And we know Mitoma, whether he starts or not, he'll play minutes, but I don't know if he'll get anything against Chelsea in the away fixture, which is not the best fixture to obviously having 4. So yeah, I'm in a pickle for this.
I don't think Chelsea's that bad of a fixture for Brighton personally.
It's not bad of a fixture, but like we said before, they don't really concede many goals, Chelsea, despite them not being.
I mean, they've just conceded 4 to Newcastle.
Yeah, that's it's very true. That is, yeah. And obviously Reece James getting that suspension as well.
Oh yeah, the red card. So yeah, I mean, just looking at your team, could you even do like if you really want Salah, you've got to get Salah in.
Yeah.
And Boomo obviously is quite popular. Can you do Darwin or Isak and go 3 up front?
With 6 point.
What's the bank?
6.4. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I was looking at Wissa, but that's a bit overkill, I think, for Brentford. Because Wissa's 5.9.
I think it's an interesting one, though, Wissa, because he's a big differential.
Yeah, if we just look at Wissa, he's 9.2% owned. He hasn't had a return since Burnley in Game Week 9, but because it's Luton at home, that could be a fixture where he could easily get a goal in. And I expect a high line from Brentford in that game where you see different goal scorers as well. So Wissa could be a decent 1 week game week to go for, I think. So Wissa could be one I bring in.
Solanke, says Alex, if that's a consideration, potentially.
Yeah, Solanke's been
6.5.
Yeah, Solanke's affordable.
You're point one off.
No, I'm not.
You're point one off, yes.
0.1
Sorry.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's those price rises that have done that in Wilmer.
What's his fixtures like? Solanke's fixtures are decent, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Man United, Luton, 17, Nottingham, 18.
You know he's going to play 90 minutes as well, every game, pretty much.
Yeah, he's pretty much done that the whole season. Only playing 84 in 11 and 9, but besides that, he's played 90-minute football.
Okay, just a minute. Tweet from FPL Focal, obviously, because he did tweet out yesterday that he might have some news regarding Watkins. He said a decision will be made closer to kickoff regarding Watkins. Still more than 24 hours out. Late fitness test. Sorry, it's nothing concrete. Have asked if there's any more info other than that. And he also adds he's starting him for what it's worth, and he thinks he'll start. So FPL Focal saying he thinks Watkins will start, but there's nothing concrete, and a decision will be made closer to kickoff. Obviously, because it is a Sunday fixture. Villa play Sunday.
I suppose that helps a little bit.
Yeah, so that's the thing now. What to do with Watkins? Because obviously we've heard that. Obviously, we also heard. Remember last game week when Alvarez was benched? Supposedly, we've heard, and he came out. So leaks are leaks. They're not always. Info is info. I guess they're not always 100% accurate. So you'll have to take that into account as well when making your decisions. But it looks like we're not going to get any concrete news regarding Watkins either way. So we'll just have to go with that, I guess. And if we don't hear anything, maybe we just keep him.
Yeah, hopefully. I would prefer that. In regards to the comment from Alex, could you do Watkins to Archer and Andreas to Salah? I can't. As you can see, I've got Archer and Salah and kept Son, but I've got minus 2.6 million in the bank. So I can't afford to do that move.
Sorry, what was that?
The comment regarding Alex saying take obviously Watkins out for Archer and keep
Andreas.
Son. Yeah, and take out Andreas for Salah. That leaves me with minus 2.6 million in the bank. So I can't afford to do that move.
Also, there's chat saying Watkins and Burmo to Nunes and not Watkins and Bowen to Nunes and Burmo from XD.
Well, saying that, I could take out Bowen for -4 and then bring in Burmo, and then I think he is. Is it? No, it's not affordable still. Never mind.
Yeah, I'll let you tinker that anyway.
Yeah.
We'll get closer to the deadline. I don't know where that leaves me with that news. I might just end up keeping Watkins at this rate and just hope he starts. If not, I've got Taylor or Livramento on the bench. Tricky one. I do have Darwin FOMO.
What's your gut saying?
My gut's saying Darwin will score against Fulham. I think he will score against Fulham. I also think he could score 2 in a game because we know the chances he gets, and we know Liverpool's attack is, as I say, is statistically it's the best in the league. And you just take a look at, if you just take a look at Darwin's underlying numbers, again they are underlying numbers. So, but he does get chances, and against Man City, his expected goals per 90, or not per 90, sorry, his expected goals in that match against Man City was 0.43. Against Brentford, it was 0.21. Against Luton, it was 0.90. Against Forest, it was 1.15. So he's averaging, his XG is very high, and as you guys know, I said the same with Son. I like players that get chances, even if they miss them. I still would rather have a player that's getting chances as opposed to someone that's not getting chances. So I still like Darwin for that reason, and I still think Darwin has actually been very good this season considering the minutes he's played. You know, he didn't really start. He didn't really start any matches until game week 8. Only since game week 8 has Darwin really become like a first team player. So again, I've always liked Darwin as a pick, and I think now he's definitely he's going to be a popular pick now. But I'm looking at his ownership, what it is. It's 19% now, which it seems like it's doubled. And also, he's now going to be a bit mainstream. I prefer the underground Nunes when no one was looking at him, but
Yeah,
I think that's FPL, I guess.
yeah, that's it. If they see that this is the time to do it, then yeah, a lot of people are going to go on a Darwin train. I think because the fixtures are good. He's looking good in matches, getting lots of chances, and yeah, that breeds obviously the need to bring in a player like Darwin.
George Kent with a comment, how we boys? Yeah, we're well, thank you, George. Hope you're well as well. Hamza says Eze to Gibbs White. Is that something you'd be doing?
Gibbs White, not particularly, because Nottingham Forest well, they have Everton. To be fair, Everton
Not a
fixture.
bad game.
Yeah, not a bad game. It's home one as well for Gibbs White, and Awini, I believe, is out again. So yeah, I mean that does give Gibbs White a bit more forward attack. And Nottingham Forest, and Eze's out injured, I believe, as well. So
yeah. Eze, you've got to remove him. It depends how much money you have. Obviously, I prefer other midfielders. Personally, I prefer the likes of Gordon if you can get to him. You know, even Palmer, who I've got in my team. I like Palmer's fixtures. You know, they get quite nice around game week 16. I like, those type of players. You know, even someone like Huang, which we spoke about a bit. Huang's doing well at that price. Yeah, Gibbs White is fine. He's not my favorite pick, but he's a bit low owned as well, and it's a bit of a differential. So you could go there. What about Trippier to Pinnock, Andreas to Salah, Watkins to Archer? There's a lot of comments about your team.
Yeah, I appreciate.
Don't know about removing Trippier though.
No, I don't know about that, but I'll check if I can do it anyway. The move. So yeah, let me just switch that to the move. So I bring Pinnock in.
Yeah, Alex, this is what we were mentioning about Darwin. The next 3, I expect one benching at least, and it probably will come in against Sheffield, and Gakpo will play. That is the only worry. But even in saying that, if you can get 25 minutes out of Darwin, because Gakpo ain't going to play 90 against Sheffield, I don't think. Darwin will probably come on and play some minutes. It's 90 minutes and then 20 minutes and then 90 minutes. That's still not bad in terms of minutes. Darwin could come off the bench and get a goal as well.
And I can't do that move. I'm minus 0.4 million still.
Damn, you can't do any move really. I think I'll just. Salah's had a price rise. That's about 0.1, which makes it a bit more. Obviously, you don't want. I mean, what's your views on Son? Because as far as I was aware, you were selling Son.
Yeah, I definitely am selling Son still. I know you guys are trying to. It's impossible to fit Salah and Son in the same team. That's why I had to take Son out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you've got a Trippier though,
I don't know. It depends. It's basically Son or Trippier. I rather have Son than Trippier. Obviously, you rather have Trippier, which is fair enough.
And the fact I've got an expensive forward line, I've still got Alvarez who's 7 million. I still can't do that move with Son in the team. Still, it's not affordable, unfortunately. So I have no choice but to take Son out to fund the Salah move initially. Otherwise, I would obviously keep Son for this week. But
I'm trying to do a little poll in the chat, captaincy wise. Who is your? So make sure you guys vote in the poll. I just want to see what the chat is saying. Also, guys, please do hit that like button. There's not enough likes on this video. So please hit the like, and also share the videos as well if you can on your socials. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, which would be huge for our channel. Okay, poll is up. vote, guys, so we can see who you guys are looking to captain. It seems like a bit of a split week. Well, right now it's Haaland. A couple of you have gone Haaland. One, I think, 50-50 now. So just put a vote in there, and then we'll revisit that in a sec.
Okay, yeah.
Lascelles is a little suggestion from Alex. Going back to
Yeah.
your team on the screen, which you could do.
Yeah, I could just about afford that. It's 0.1 million left in the bank for that move to the cells and Salah to Andreas and Andreas to Salah and then Archer in.
Is that for a -4?
That is for -4. It does allow me to keep obviously Son around that, but not having Trippier, who has Man United. That's one I'm not sure of.
See, I'm not. I own Son, and I've gone without Trippier. I think the time to get rid of Trippier was when I got rid of him. I'd want Trippier going forward. I think one thing to consider about Trippier though, he is on 4 yellow cards. So if he gets one more, he will miss one game. So, but you should be fine. You know, he'll play against Man United, and I'd want Trippier. I think, even though I don't have him in my team, it's someone that I still think is a good pick, like medium term.
Yeah, I think I missed the boat on taking Trippier out when he had the most difficult fixtures.
And he still returned in one of them, I believe.
He believed
10 pointer.
10 points against.
And he got a 10 pointer. So he's done well. You know, 2 big hauls and then a couple of blanks for Trippier. So against Man United, and if you've seen Man United the way they play, you wouldn't want to be selling Trippier, I don't think. So it's up to you, man.
As a Man United fan, I'm not full of confidence for them against Newcastle, as you guys know. And if you've watched Man United, especially their other match when Onana had many mistakes, then you'll see why I want to keep Trippier in my team, regardless of the money he's worth.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to your team in a sec. I'll let you think about what you're going to do with your team. But yeah, selling Trippier, it's not ideal, is it? I don't think. But
not anymore, no.
David with the chat, Haas, your team looks miles better these days. Yeah, thank you, David. I know my teams at the start of the season had a few mishaps. My team wasn't great periods, but I'm at a point now where I'm quite happy with the way my team's lining up. Definitely, it's just a Watkins is a bit of a spanner in the works, but yeah, the team I'm pretty happy with the way I'm lining up. I'm just praying that Watkins is fine. Just need to get my bench order correct. Would you think I've got the correct bench order? Like Taylor, Livramento, Archer? Because I've gone Taylor ahead of Livramento.
I mean, in terms of fixture, actually,
I don't trust Archer at all. I've got Archer last, and he's the striker.
Yeah. Just bearing in mind, though, you did bench him one time where got I think, was it 9 points?
I've had Archer though for the whole season, and obviously he went and got a haul when I had him on the bench every week. I just don't like Archer's underlying data. I just think it's absolutely terrible for a striker. He's getting like no shots. He's not. There's been games where he's got 90 minutes and he's barely even had a shot on target, or even a shot actually. And I just think, Burnley fixture's nice, but Burnley aren't the worst defense either. You know, they will make it difficult for Sheffield. So
yeah, I think if you see a clean sheet for Burnley against Sheffield.
Yeah, I actually do, and that's why I'm tempted to just go Taylor.
Yeah,
and Livramento. And Livramento, I don't really. I could see a clean sheet, but again, it's Man United, so Man United will probably get 1 goal, but lose. So let us know, guys. You think I've got the bench order correct with Taylor, Livramento, and then Archer firmly last? Because I know a lot of people will say play the attacker, play Archer. Comment here. We've had this comment, Darwin or Isak. You know, we've kind of got differing views on this one. See, I've gone Darwin. I think Darwin's better just because his explosiveness in matches. Liverpool are the best attack, you know, statistically in the league in terms of big chances created, and also in terms of expected goals. Liverpool are top. Yes, there's that worry. You know, Darwin could miss 1 game because it's a midweek fixture. Gakpo could come in. But with Isak, you could say the same thing. Isak has a decent fixture this week against Man United, but when Wilson's back, we know they're gonna vie for that number 9 position. So they've got their pros and cons. I just like Darwin because I just think he's a high risk, high reward pick. On his day, I always say that he can score 2 goals in a match and then come away with a 10-point, 11-pointer. So it is tight, but it depends on your play style as well. I think Isak's more lower owned. The Darwin's now, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon, it seems, with Darwin. But yeah, I will still go Darwin, but maybe that's because I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't know.
So let's just ask the question regarding Julian Alvarez, because initially that's the player I was going to take out instead of a Watkins before his flag popped up. Now Alvarez, he did come on in the Champions League match for Carl Walker in the 54th minute, so he played around over half an hour of football in that game, and he didn't start, so he was rested for that. He did score in that game as well. Do you see Alvarez starting against Spurs at home? Because there was a bit of doubt that he would, but with him not starting in that Champions League game, do you see him starting in that top?
Yeah, I probably think Alvarez will start. If I had Alvarez, I think if I had Alvarez, I would probably bench him. And look, in your position, I would keep the front line as it is. I wouldn't take Watkins out if I were you, because you have that insurance of Alvarez. If Watkins doesn't start, you've got Alvarez. So you could just keep both of them and then sort your midfield out, basically. And even your defense, Luka Dean, who I don't think is a great pick going forward. So you could do that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Luka Dean is a necessary sell this week, to be fair. So you could just hold him because he's got a decent fixture. You don't really want to be getting rid of Dean when he's got, was it Bournemouth?
Yeah, he's got Bournemouth away. So it's his last good fixture before. Yeah, I'm going to definitely get rid of him or bench him next game week.
Also, very interestingly, just kind of off topic, but Salah is winning the poll in terms of captaincy. 57% of you are on Salah. So it shows it is tight this week. But yeah, if you haven't, guys, make sure you vote on the poll. Also, hit that like button if you are watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, which would be, again, I keep saying, a big achievement for this channel. And it will be all thanks to you guys, obviously, supporting us. We've got loads of comments coming in. We've got George, start Cash or Gurhey. Obviously, Cash has the better fixture, you'd say. But I've seen some Aston Villa fans say that Cash might not even start.
That'd be interesting. Cash not starting.
Yeah, because another thing that may come into your team might be a worry for you. Obviously, Alex Moreno is now back fit. And he played, I believe, in the Europa League. Alex Moreno could take minutes off Luka Dean as well. So that's one to watch regarding Alex Moreno.
Yeah, hopefully doesn't affect Luka Dean's minutes just for this fixture against Bournemouth. Hopefully, that doesn't come into play, because that would be very annoying.
Yeah, looking at the fixtures as well, like in terms of Gurhey, he's got West Ham away. And then obviously Cash. I'd probably play Cash. I'll start Cash, and then if he doesn't start, then you got Gurhey coming on as a sub. If selling Trippier means getting Salah, I think it's worth it, says Dan the Man. I'm not convinced Burnley are going to keep Sheffield out. Would rather put Archer up front. Says Ellicott, thank you for the comment. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm not so sure about Archer up front. But it's nice to see differing views as well and opinions. Let us know, guys, what you think as well. I don't think United are going to get smashed like you guys think. No, I don't think United will get smashed, but I think it's a difficult game. Yeah, I can see a Newcastle winning.
Yeah, at home. Newcastle at home are quite formidable. It's really hard to win against Newcastle. I think Liverpool are the only team to do it. Yeah, it's not easy for teams. It's like going to Anfield. It's not easy to win at Anfield. Teams do struggle.
Just looking at Newcastle, when they play at home, obviously they beat Villa at home. They lost to Liverpool at home. They beat Brentford at home. They beat Burnley at home. They beat Palace at home. They beat Arsenal at home. and they beat Chelsea at home. So Liverpool again, as like last season, I believe at one point, where Liverpool are the only team that beat Newcastle at St James Park. So it is a pretty tough place to go now. I think in terms of stadiums, when we look at in the league, I said the toughest places to go are the Etihad, Anfield, St James Park is up there for me now, and I don't think Man United will have it their way, if I'm being honest. So we'll see, but maybe Man United will spring us a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it relies on Onana, I think, because if he's making the mistakes he did, obviously in the last game when they were against, it's been so long that I can't remember who they were playing.
Who was this?
Man United, the last game.
Galatasaray.
Yeah, Galatasaray. I mean, literally, Onana did so many mistakes in that game, let so many goals in that, it cost Man United the game, and they ended up being a draw. And if Onana didn't make those mistakes, then it would have been an easy win for Man United. So, again, the only thing that puts me off Man United is the reliance on the defence. There's so much. It's like with when De Gea was there. That defence is so vulnerable. It lets so much through that Onana has to be more reliant on keeping these chances out. And I think that's what, obviously, that puts it down to Man United, whether they can keep that against Newcastle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We've obviously a couple of comments in regards to Newcastle. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle put 3 past United. If I'm being honest, at home, I don't think that's because Galatasaray have done it. Put 3 past United. I know it was, maybe some will say unfortunate circumstances for Man United, but we'll see. It's an interesting one, Man United, I guess, because we've been put off by United, really. I was quite strong on United at the start of the season. I had Rashford and Bruno in my team when I started off, but I just think they're a complete avoid. But let's move on anyway to Tendai's comment. I'm thinking Darwin in for Watkins. Yeah, if you've got a free transfer, for sure, I like the move. Souček out for Gordon. Again, a move I like. If you've got free transfers, then I would be tempted to probably remove Watkins.
See, this is if we can find out if Watkins is playing or not, I think I'll put my mind at rest. I think for my team,
you're not going to get that.
Yeah, that's the only thing. If Watkins is playing or not.
Yeah.
If I knew if he wasn't or not, then yeah, that would make my move so much easier because I've got a set sort of way of going forward, but it depends on whether Watkins is going to play or not.
Yeah, I mean, Watkins could play. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing.
But it's just my bench. My bench isn't great. So, I mean, your bench is a bit better. Like you've got like the likes of Alvarez. Was it Andreas against Liverpool isn't the best?
And that's not the best, but Andreas will start. Let me just switch back. Yeah, so I've got Taylor, Brantford, and Andreas currently on the bench.
I think you have to deal with Bowen.
Yeah,
personally. You just have to take him out, probably, in my opinion.
Yeah, if we switch back, I've taken Bowen out of this team. I brought in Mbeumo for him, and got Salah there for Son.
And what does that leave in the bank with?
Well, that's the predicament. I've got minus 1.8 million.
Oh, you have to take money out of your team.
Yeah, I probably have to take Watkins out regardless if he starts or not.
Yeah, because you need the money. You need the money. So
yeah.
Yeah, you probably have to. That's if you want Mbeumo though, which I'm assuming you probably want Mbeumo as well.
Yeah, I'd hate to miss out on Mbeumo when he has Luton at home. And that's a fixture where, I don't want to really take him out for. I mean, that leaves me 6.4 million in the bank for forward if I want to take a -4.
Would you just go to Archer? So free up money.
I mean, I could, but
if you're not going to play, if you're not going to play him, then
I probably will play him. I'll probably play 3 at the front, 4 in the midfield.
Oh yeah, because Andreas got Liverpool.
Yeah, so Andreas got Liverpool. So yeah, I haven't been tempted at bringing in Wissa.
Pinnock chat for Trippier. Trippier's the one that's kind of causing a bit of a debate. Like some people are, you can get rid of him. Some I still like him. personally. Even though I don't have him, I wouldn't be against bringing in Trippier if I could find a way.
Yeah,
I just think he's still a good option, man.
Yeah, I still think that as well. Even though a lot of you in the chat don't agree, obviously, with that, but I still think my gut's saying keep Trippier in the team now. If I had to take him out, it should have been more early on.
Because, like Son, for example, I'm looking at Son. If I was to remove Son from my team, then Trippier is where I'd put the money. But Son's fixtures, Man City, West Ham, Newcastle, are not the easiest, but we know Son he can still get goals in these matches. I have no debate about that, but it just comes down to that, really. But let's be honest, Spurs don't look the same without Maddison and all the other players.
That is the one thing that puts me off having Son as well. Maddison. If I knew Maddison was starting and that Spurs had a fully fit team, that starting 11, no hesitation would I not get rid of Son. I would keep him in easily. But because the way Spurs are at the moment, where they're missing key players, especially Bentancur out now, and the most recent injury, I'm not fully convinced of Spurs. You just don't know what you're going to get. Even though Son, yeah, he can still score. I won't say he won't, but without fully fit Spurs, they're not up to the level that they were at before. Obviously, the suspensions and the injuries came rolling in, and since then, it has been a bit less action in that attack.
Laz, if your two bench players coming on were Solanke and Mikalenko or Anderson, would you roll the transfer and keep both Watkins and Bowen and wait for more info? If I'm being honest, if you've not got Mbumo, I would do Bowen to Mbumo this week. I think Mbumo, I'd probably want him because I'm still not massive on Bowen right now. I would be tempted to get rid of him, but again, if he's back, he could be a decent. But I would get rid of Bowen personally. Yeah, I've made my decision. I think I'm gonna play Taylor first bench because I can see potential clean sheet, and I think also I'm gonna keep Watkins. Cause I just have a feeling you never know. It's a Sunday game. He might recover in time. And I know with Watkins, I'll want him back in game week 18. So it'll be like a switcheroo. Watkins to Darwin, back to Watkins. Which again, with transfers being so precious, I don't know if I want to do that, but I just really like Darwin, obviously. So it's tricky.
Yeah, with the Watkins, though, it depends what Emery wants to risk Watkins or not for the Bournemouth game. Because he has, after that game, got Arsenal and then the big one, Man City.
And Man City, yeah.
So would you, if I was manager, I'd probably want to rest Watkins and save him for the big games ahead.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. You could also look at it as like it's more likely to win against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And maybe he wants to get that win out the way, and then whatever he gets against Arsenal and City might be a bonus. We don't know, but we know Villa are very good at home, and we know they are Villa are like a top. They are a top 4 team now. They're in the top 4, I believe, as it stands. I'm just looking on Twitter in terms of team news. Dan says Haas is a good team. Thank you, Dan. And yeah, Alex also says, Haas, you should definitely keep Watkins. Your bench is fine. Yeah, it's just the only annoyance would be if Darwin goes and scores 2 goals or more. If he scores 1 goal, I wouldn't be as worried. If he gets 2+, then yeah, but it depends whether you think he will do that. I know some people don't have that sort of faith on Darwin doing that. What about Gabriel Jesus, guys? Is he a consideration? He's got Wolves, 7.8 million in terms of price, only 3% owned, and he's got Luton in game week 15 as well. Are we underlooking Gabriel Jesus? I just want to bring him up. Maybe one for you to look at, Jordan, because I know you like the differentials. You like being, you like going different. Look at that fixture in game week 15. It's Luton away, and Wolves at home this game week. Is he? Are we disrespecting? Not looking at him as an option.
No, not at all. Those fixtures look really, really tasty for Arsenal, and with Jesus back from being injured, that's set them up really good fixtures in that run. Yeah, I mean, it's 7.8 million, not a bad shout to go for as a differential. If I had any possible way of doing it, then yeah, I might be tempted to bring in Jesus.
In terms of Haaland or Salah captain, we actually have a poll up on the chat. I'm going to look at it again. I think Salah was winning. Haaland is now winning, 58% Haaland. So get those votes in, guys. Also, a couple more likes. Please get us to 25 likes if you can before the video ends. We still got 20 minutes to go before the deadline. So
yeah, time is closing, and I need to make my decisions quick. Before 20. I mean, yeah, I've got no other choice. It's either between Watkins or Trippier, really, to make this work.
Any comments? Bench Watkins for Gordon. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably start Watkins, and then if he doesn't start, then Gordon will come in. But I'd want to start Gordon against United. I think Gordon's a good pick, honestly, against United. I could see him causing some problems.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think you have a field there against Man United defence.
It's interesting because Man United have statistically, Onana has the most clean sheets in the league, which is mad, but it is a real stat.
We saw that, though, with De Gea in the previous seasons. He had the most clean sheets and made the most saves in the Premier League. But that's because he was heavily reliant on keeping
them out, basically.
Yeah, because the defence for Man United, just literally, you could walk through that defence. There would be no problem for any team to go through that defence. It was whether they could get through the goalkeeper. And we're seeing the exact same thing with Onana, where he has to rely. He's heavily reliant now on Man United. He's pretty much in the defence.
To be fair, it's been a bit of an improvement with Maguire, but going on to this comment, actually, if I'm being unbiased, I think Watkins doesn't play for Bournemouth, and then against City, I think he will feature off the bench. Then he will start and be back against Arsenal. Well, it's very hard to say. We actually have no idea, really. It's just we're just guessing at the moment. You could easily say he was rested in the Europa League, so he starts against Bournemouth. But yeah, we'll see. But I think I'm leaning towards keeping him now. I believe.
Yeah.
Just think Darwin for a -4. If I had another free transfer, I probably would have done it. Probably would have bought Darwin in. But my bench isn't the worst. Like, I've got playing players on there. You never know. I could get a 6-pointer from one of these guys and maybe get a bit lucky. Would you play Onana or Areola, Jordan? Onana's got Newcastle away. Areola has Palace at home.
Areola. I can see him getting save points. Probably Onana will as well, but I don't think it matters much because I don't see a clean sheet in either goalkeeper.
Yeah, I would play Areola. I think we know with Palace, a couple of injuries. Key one, Eze again being out. I think that makes them slightly weaker. And Palace do struggle in terms of scoring multiple goals. Like I keep saying, even Eze, when Eze was back, one thing that was worrying me about bringing Eze in was Palace don't score many goals as a team. When they do score, it's usually the odd one goal or maybe two. They're not really an attacking team. So I will still go with West Ham's goalkeeper, Areola, home fixture as well. I think that's quite easy. I really like Jesus' shout, but I think he could easily get rested for Luton. Yeah, possibly. We'll probably hear some team news regarding Arsenal. Obviously, they've got Trossard that can play games, but I still think Gabriel Jesus, when he's fit, I don't think he is like a big rotation risk. To be fair, I still think when he's fit and ready, I think Arteta prefers to play him. Kasha Saliba, there's shouts that he might not start. Yeah, I mean, I would do it. I've done that move myself. I did Kasha Saliba early this week to get the price rise on Saliba. And yeah, Saliba's got Wolves and then he's got Luton. So that's a very popular move. And yeah, I like the move. Turner to Kelleher. If you've got the luxury and you've got free transfers, your team looks fine and there's nothing to change in your team, you could do it. But I'm not sure I'd want a goalie transfer, especially when transfers are so hard to come by. I don't know if I'd be wanting to switch a goalkeeper out. But yeah, Areola has been a pretty big disappointment, if we're being honest. I just want to thank you guys, all the new subscribers all in the chat. Big thank you to all of you. And hope you guys start enjoying the content that we got coming out. There's a lot of videos to come throughout the festive period. So make sure you are subscribed and you do hit that like button because it helps support the channel a lot. What are you going to say, Jordan, mate?
I think I've got it. What I'm going to do.
Oh, let us know. What are you doing?
Right. Watkins out for Wissa. Son out for Salah. And Bowen out for Burmo.
Interesting Wissa pick. You're going double Brentford attack.
Down for Brentford attack. It does mean, though, I have 4 players that will blank in 18. So I will have to slowly, after either free hit or slowly take them out upcoming to game week 18 because Alvarez, Haaland, Wissa, and then Burmo won't play in that fixture in game week 18. But it does leave me with 0.5 in the bank, and it is a -4. But I think it's a good -4 to bring these players in for.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, that's me. That's what I think I'm set. I think even if Watkins starts, gets a goal, regardless of that team for me should be enough to get me a green arrow.
Okay.
If all goes well, I think.
Would you bench? I wouldn't bench Matoma. You got to surely play Matoma.
Yeah,
I don't think Chelsea. You'll play the 3-4-3, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
and bench Andreas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll go for and play 3 in defence: Simicast, Trippier, and Lucadine.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's what I'm gonna roll with, I think.
Well, you've got a few minutes, I guess, to lock your moves in. Dan says, afternoon, guys. Yeah, afternoon to everyone in the chat. Thank you, guys, for joining the stream. We've got a couple of new subscribers as well, which is always nice to see. Start Andrew Fernandez or Trippier. You got to start both, but I probably would sell Fernandez really at this point. I wouldn't keep him, but yeah, if you've got Fernandez, you have to start him because the price is at, he's nearly 10 million or 9 million. So
yeah,
I wouldn't want him benching that sort of player. If you are, if you've lost faith in Fernandez, which I suppose we had weeks ago, then I mean, it was frustrating that he gave the penalty, I guess, if you're an owner to Rashford. So that was annoying if you're an owner, but I'd just get rid of Fernandez, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think if you're a Fernandez owner when he gave away that penalty to Rashford, then I think that would be the final straw, I think, for me to obviously play him or have him in my team. So, yeah, no, in regards to that question, though, I'll probably play Trippier at home if I had to pick. But, yeah, you should start both.
Would you start Adingra or Watkins? Obviously, Adingra has the fixture against Chelsea. I'll still go Watkins. And if he doesn't play, then you get an auto sub.
Yeah, that's the best way to go with that, Dan.
I'm playing Watkins with no bench players coming on. This is the situation where I wouldn't want to do that. I probably would rather take him out, especially if you've got like free transfers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very risky going into that ground of no bench.
Yeah,
relying on the starting 11.
Yeah, I think with the fixtures now, with Christmas coming up, and we know how the fixture schedule is, you'd want a bench. I think you want playing players on the bench, whether that's Archer, whether that's Taylor, Simicast, whoever you've got. Because there's going to be rotation, there's going to be injuries, there's going to be just random like surprise benchings. You know, I'd advise having a bench of like starting 4 million players.
Yeah, absolutely. Even having a preferably strong bench wouldn't be such a bad thing. I think because of the amount of injury you're seeing, the rotation that we're probably going to see as well, because managers can make 5 subs. There's going to be a lot of rotation for particular teams, and yeah, we're all going to need a strong bench, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Taylor, Archer, Livramento, like they play matches, so that's the only requirement you need. Someone that's going to get you at least 2 points if there was to be benched. FPL Yellow Army, Haaland or Salah captain. We're both on Haaland. I think it's tight. I think it's close. But I've just go Haaland just because Spurs have lost 3 games in a row now. Got a few injuries. We know the issues at Spurs. So that's what slightly leads me going to Haaland. But I think Salah's still a good option, man. Like Salah has been, he's done, numbers, his numbers are great this season. Goals, assists, he's performing well. And Salah could have had a lot more attacking returns as well. If the other players, finished some of the chances, he could have had a lot more assists as well. So I do like Salah, but it's tight for me. Looking at the poll again, other players, it is 60% on Haaland or 59%. So Haaland is winning the poll currently.
Which is pretty close, I would say, still, between Haaland and Salah this week. But I don't think there's going to be much in it between the both of them.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a massive swing either way. Anyone wants news? Apparently, Gabriel Jesus starts. Yeah, you know what? I'm so tempted to bring in a striker for Watkins, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I've got 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes left. I think I'm going to do my transfer moves. I'm going to wait a few more minutes.
I'll let you do that. I'm going to take a few comments. Oh, yeah, we forgot about this community draft. We haven't done it last week as well. We've got to get that up.
The last 2. I don't think I can get it. Yeah. Well,
if you have it on a 2-screener, somehow, if you could pull it up on another screen. But yeah, we've not forgot George. We did last week because we don't know actually how we did, what transfers we made. Gurhey or McTominay. Probably start McTominay if you've got him. Might nick you a goal. Any love on Gibbs White? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think for me, just looking at my team, I just don't know where he'd fit in. I've got Saka, Mbeumo, Son, Palmer, Salah. For me, that's the midfield I want. And even then, I prefer Gordon. So Gordon would be next up for me in that price bracket. So for me, no, I don't really, not keen on Gibbs White, but I don't think he's a bad option, by the way, at all. I just think hard to fit him in.
Yeah, he did come off with a 12-pointer against Brighton, getting 1 goal and 1 assist.
And the fixtures.
And yeah, the fixtures are pretty nice for Brighton. Sorry, for Nottingham Forest. They got Everton, Fulham, Wolves, Spurs, Bournemouth.
The next 3 look good for sure. Only 1.9%. So maybe we are missing a trick. But yeah, good pick. Good player for the next 3, definitely. But it's just hard to fit him in with the way my team's set up. And the midfielders I have longer term. Like, I prefer my midfield. But I don't hate the move.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll make my transfers and then I'll get the community team up for you guys, I think.
Cool. Let's switch over to your team then very quickly. There you go. We've got 6 minutes to go, guys, for the deadline. So make sure you guys are locking in those transfers, locking in those captaincy picks, your bench order, everything. Make sure you guys are locking your teams in. Also, a big thank you to all the new subs as well. As always, appreciate it, guys. You're gonna say.
Yes, so here's the moment of truth. So Son, Bowen, Watkins, all out. Salah, Mbeumo, Wissa, all in for a -4.
-4. Interesting. I like the Wissa one's interesting. I mentioned Wissa, or I think I mentioned him earlier on the stream, and fixtures are pretty good because if we're talking about Mbeumo having good fixtures, Wissa is sometimes like an odd player, as in he usually pops up from nowhere, gets 2 goals as well. There's been times when Wissa's just scored and like Mbeumo has blanked, so I like it as well. Dan the man is Garnacho, or going on to Garnacho. Yeah, I think Garnacho's a decent pick, to be fair. Cheap pick. Looks like he's going to start playing down that left-hand side, which is interesting because obviously Rashford seems like he's out Rashford from that side now, which is, didn't see that one coming. But yeah. And he also says, best of luck, Jordan. Looks decent.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Hopefully it does work out this week, especially being a -4. But yeah, I will confirm the transfers now. So here we go. It's done.
Boom. There you go. The transfer's done. -4.
Let me just refresh the page.
I'll let you do your bench order and put that into play. Just made my transfer. Watkins to Isak. Yeah, I like that. Game week 18 captaincy for me swayed it, as Darwin has Arsenal and City blanks. Yeah, I think Isak is just as good as an option. Like, honestly, I do think he's a good option. I just prefer Darwin.
And yeah, everything that's
all right. So we have 3 minutes to go. Jordan, if you get this community team up ASAP.
Yeah.
We've probably got like 2 transfers. We've probably burned one last week. I don't know.
I think we did in fact burn one last week. But let's get up. Let me just sign out.
Let me know when you're loaded up. But yeah, any more questions, guys? We got 3 minutes. Let us know your dilemmas. Anything you have to ask us, do drop it in the chat. So don't know what fixtures we have on today. I am going to take a look at the fixtures. So yeah, we've got some good fixtures today, to be fair. Man United, Arsenal. Man United, Newcastle. That's a game I'm looking forward to, if I'm being honest. I think that's going to be a great game. So I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be definitely watching Newcastle United. We've got to do our score predictions as well in a sec, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
You in?
No, not quite yet.
I think I've still got your team on the screen. Just looking at Twitter, any news regarding Watkins? I don't think we'll get any this late.
Hopefully not now. I've taken him out, but hopefully.
Nah, you're fine.
But yeah, just talking about the community draft is now up and running.
How did we do? 55, not bad.
55 and overall rank of 2.1 million for the community draft.
Catching me up nearly.
Yeah, the average points was 46, so he did well.
All right, we've got 2 minutes, Jordan. So let's see the bus team quickly. We ain't got time to check the points. 8.5 million in the bank. We got money. Defense looks great. Bowen has to go for sure, I think. And I don't know who's the best differential is. I think Gibbs White.
Yeah,
I think Gibbs White. We've got him, so we've got him actually. To be fair, so we start him. What's the best differentials, guys? Drop it in the comments. You've got about Jordan's. It's 29 past, so you literally got a minute. Just pick anyone, basically. Yeah, there's a differential rule, so under 10% ownership only. And all the players we have, we bought in while they were under 10%. Obviously, the likes of Darwin has grown in popularity, but the rules are only transfers in under 10%. Yeah, it's mad that Son was under 10% when we bought him in. Gibbs White, Darwin, Alvarez, we all bought him in early. Elise, apparently. Is he under 10%? I don't know. Gross. Diaz. Diaz is the one, I think. But you're gonna miss the boat, I think. I think you missed the boat. I think it's you probably missed the boat. You could try to do it. You gotta be quick. Confirm. Have you done it? Yeah, you're way too slow.
Yeah, it was too much of a rush.
Way too slow. All right, no worries. We missed out. We burned the transfer as well. What does the team look like as well, though? We've got Gibbs White playing. I mean, we'll make sure to sort that out next week. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. We kind of fumbled it there. But yeah, look, it's 1:30. It is deadline. I hope I did my team right. Let me just double check. Yep. Haaland's captain. That is the final team, guys. Just to show you guys what we recap again. Areola in goal. I've got a back three of Saliba, Gabriel, Tsimikas, Saka, Bumo, Son, Palmer, Salah. Haaland captain. Watkins is playing in my team. But on the bench, I've got Taylor first bench, Livramento, and then Archer. I'll let you do your team, Jordan. I'm just going to quickly grab a charger because my battery's running out. So I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, here is how my team looks like for Gameweek 14. So we got Areola in goal, back three of Tsimikas, Luka Dean, and Trippier. Midfield four, Mitoma, Salah, Mbomo, and Saka. And up front, we got the three forwards, Wissa, Alvarez, and his teammate, Haaland. And Haaland is my captain for this game week, with the vice being on Mbomo. On the bench, we've got Leno, Taylor, Andreas, and Branthwaite in case of any, obviously, shocking benchings. But hopefully, there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever with any players on my team. The only one really I can say is a bit of an if is Mitoma, but I see him playing minutes anyway. So yeah, 3-4-3, and yeah, -4 for me this week for obviously taking Watkins out, Son, and
Bowen in it.
And Bowen, yes.
Yeah, Bowen for Bumo. Yeah, let's share the screen then. We've got score predictions to do. Hopefully that's working. Let me just pull it up. Yep. Just zoom into the fixtures. Let me zoom in a bit more. Yeah, I think that's zoomed in enough. Maybe too much, actually.
Well, that's perfect if there's only Saturday and Sunday fixtures.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Great. So, time for some score predictions. If you guys want to play along with us, put us your score predictions in the chat, please, and we'll read some out as well if we, when we come on to that. So, where were we? Arsenal at home to Wolves. No early fixture, no early kickoff, so that's good always. Arsenal Wolves, Jordan. How do you see this one going?
Obviously, I see Arsenal winning this perfectly comfortably. I don't see a clean sheet though, but I see Arsenal getting a win. I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal.
It is at home. Obviously, I've got double Arsenal defense. I've got Gabriel and Saliba, so I'm hoping for a clean sheet. Arsenal do have statistically the best defense as well in the league, just to point that out in terms of expected goals conceded. However, I do think Arsenal were quite fortunate to keep a clean sheet against Brentford. I think Brentford could have easily, maybe should have drawn that game. But saying that is a home fixture, I do expect Arsenal to keep a clean sheet, but never know. I would go for a comfy Arsenal 2-0 win in that one. Moving on to Brentford at home to Luton. You'll be keeping a close eye on this fixture, I'm sure, with double attack. With you bringing in Wissa. Yes. How do you see this one going for Brentford?
It should be a relatively good game for Brentford. I see him mostly involved. I see Luton literally on the parking the bus most of that game, but a lot of involvement from Brentford. I don't think it'd be a high-scoring game. I still think it'd be hard to break down Luton, despite that. So I'm going to go with 2-0. I think Brentford. I think it'd be a low-scoring game, but it should be a win for them.
I don't know what. To be fair, I'll go with the same. I was going to go same scoreline, 2-0. Hopefully, Mbomo can get on the score sheet. Obviously, Wissa, hopefully for you, gets on the score sheet. But yeah, I can see a Brentford win. And I still think Brentford clean sheet as well. Being at home, I think they'll get the job done in the end. So yeah, 2-0 Brentford win. Next up, we do have Burnley against Sheffield. I'll be watching this because I want to see what Archer does. I'll keep a close eye to see if Archer can get a goal. Obviously, Taylor is interesting because I need Taylor to keep a clean sheet as well, because if Watkins doesn't play, I've got Taylor first bench. So this game is quite relevant for FPL. So what did you say? How do you see this one going?
Yeah, it's a sort of like a balanced, I think, newly promoted team, balanced team, one that could go either way. I do see Burnley though winning. I think they can potentially hold off Sheffield United, but I do see Archer scoring still. But I'm going to go 2-1 Burnley. I think
2-1 Burnley. Okay. I'm gonna be boring and say I'm gonna go for a 0-0. I just think it'd be a draw probably. Yeah, I'll go 0-0. So Taylor probably gets a clean sheet then. For his sake. And moving on to Forest at home to Everton. Gibbs White is as a popular pick. Everton obviously disappointing loss to Man United last time out 3-0, which on paper obviously looks worse than their performance because they couldn't really finish their chances. Do you think Everton will bounce back and get something, or do you see Forest have it been a banana skin for them?
I think Everton got a slight chance. I think Albany missing out in the Forest game is a bit of fortune for Everton, missing their key goalkeeper. But I think Nottingham Forest can still put up a good fight at home. So I'm going to go with a draw. I think I'm going to go with 2-2.
2-2. Okay. I'm going to go for a draw as well. I think in this fixture, I'll go 1-1. I think Nottingham Forest will get a point here, and Everton will probably struggle again with some of their chances to convert, but we'll see. I'll back the 1-1 draw. And the big one for today, I think, probably the best fixture today. Yeah, it is the best fixture. I mean, maybe not Man City, Spurs as well, is a big fixture this week, but Newcastle, Man United, definitely the best fixture for today. For the neutral to watch, should be a good game, should be an entertaining game. How do you see, obviously, your team, Man United, how do you see this one going? Because Newcastle at home, as we know, they've only lost once.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Man United, especially coming back from that draw against Galatasaray. But Newcastle at home, it's pretty hard to break them down. I do see Newcastle win, unfortunately, but I'm hoping Man United can maybe clench a draw. I think that's the best result we can get from this game. Get the 1 point away from Newcastle. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. Okay. Obviously Isak is one to watch because there's a few of you that bought Isak in, so we'll see how he does against Man United. Trippier for you, obviously, still highly owned. Yeah, I'll back the Newcastle win. I think Newcastle will have enough to win this game, but I'll go for 3-1. I don't see a clean sheet for Newcastle. I think Man United will get a goal, maybe like a Garnacho or Bruno, who knows. So I'll go 3-1, but yeah, 2-1 could be. I'll go different. I'll go 3-1. Moving on then, that's the Saturday games out the way. And we've got another 5 fixtures on Sunday, which is tomorrow. And yeah, there's no Monday games. Obviously, we've got some midweek fixtures. So a lot of content to come, guys. So we're literally going to be chock-off for the next few days. So make sure you are subscribed so don't miss out on any of that content. First up, Bournemouth Villa. We'll be keeping a very close eye on team news around 1 p.m. to see whether Watkins starts. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one whether Watkins starts or not for this game. I think it's going to be important for those non-owners and obviously those who have Watkins. Hopefully he does start for you guys who kept him in. Bournemouth at home though, it could be a game for them at home. High scoring one, I think, for both sides. But I think shockingly, Bournemouth can get maybe something out of this game. I'm going to go with a draw. So I'm going to go with 2-2. I think this will be a draw this game.
Okay, that'll be a shock result. I mean, Bournemouth have, they've been decent. Taking a look at their couple of games, we'll see what Solanke does because Solanke seemed like a cheap pick that a few managers have gone for. But I do think Villa will win. Watkins or not, I still expect them to get the job done. I think obviously without Watkins, it will hamper them a lot. But I'll back a win for Villa. I'll go 2-1 Villa away win. So I think they'll get the job done just about. But yeah, if Watkins plays, obviously I'll be a lot more confident. Next up, we have Chelsea at home to Brighton. Obviously, Chelsea coming off the back of that big loss to Newcastle 4-1. Brighton and themselves have been a bit. No, they started off quite brightly, Brighton this season, but last couple of disappointing results. I think to be fair, they won in the Europa League midweek. They drew to Sheffield, didn't they? A couple of weeks back. They also drew to Everton, didn't they? So, and they drew to Fulham as well. So, a couple of draws. Form has kind of slowed down, especially they've got a few injuries. We know. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, there's been a lot of fixtures for Brighton in between, so I think that has hampered them going
in Europe. Yeah,
it has started because they had a good start to the season, but it's sort of like flattened out. But Chelsea at home, I mean, they've not had great results at home. Let's be fair, so it's hard to know what to expect from this fixture. But again, I think this will be another fixture where both teams scoring.
Yep.
But I do see Brighton potentially taking a win off of Chelsea. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Brighton, I think.
2-1 Brighton. Interesting. I'm just going to see, actually, have I done my Super 6 for this week? Sorry, guys, because obviously I do play Super 6. And the deadline's at 3 o'clock. Have I done my team? Yeah, I have. I've done my predictions. My predictions are quite different, actually, to what I've said here, so that's a bit mad. Chelsea with Brighton, I'm going to go 2-2. I think Chelsea will score. I think Brighton will score as well, because I don't see these teams keeping a clean sheet. And I think it'll be fairly high scoring, as I said. And I think it'll be an entertaining game to watch, definitely, for those that might want to tune in. I think that might be a one to watch for that week. Moving along then to Liverpool, obviously my team at home to Fulham. We'll see Darwin, he should start, is the one that I'll be looking at, if what he does. A lot of people have bought Darwin in. I think he's like the second highest transfer in this week. How do you see this one going? Obviously, Salah captain, as you've got Salah now, or you own him. You'll be looking out for that. What do you see Liverpool doing in this fixture?
Yeah, I'm so relieved now. I think I've got no issues this week now that I have Salah finally in my team, even though it was a very hard-fought win to get him in. But I think I'm very confident. I think this is the confident fixture that I can predict, that I can see it going. I think 3-0 Liverpool easily for this fixture. I don't really see Fulham scoring at Anfield, and it should be a comfortable win for Liverpool.
Oh, you think it'll be a comfy win?
Yeah, I believe it'll be a comfy win there. Anfield, I'll be very surprised if Fulham score, at least, if that.
I'll back a Liverpool win here. I don't know how comfy it will be. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool... Then it is at Anfield, so obviously Liverpool are a lot better at home in terms of clean sheets as well. So I'll back the Liverpool home win 2-0. Hopefully, obviously, Salah to get on the score sheet for us. Obviously, as a Haaland captain, I'll probably want Haaland to outscore Salah now, but obviously, I want Salah to do well. Darwin, again, I think he could score. I think he could go big, but I'll go 2-0 Liverpool. West Ham at home to Palace is one to watch, whether Bowen starts. Kudus was ill, I think, so Kudus could be back for this fixture. Palace, obviously, big injury to Eze, which is frustrating after coming back from injury. Elise looks good, got a nice goal last game. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, if it's without Bowen again and Antonio, it's going to be really tough for West Ham to get some goals behind Crystal Palace, but they do have the players to do it, like we spoke about. Kudus could play a major part in that game if you have got him. But with the results for this game, I do see West Ham still winning the game. I think Crystal Palace have lost their sort of attacking players. I think Edouard or Elise is the only ones that have that potential. I'm going to go with 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham, interesting. I mean, I'm gonna back the home win as well. I think I'll go with like a 2-0 win. I just don't see many goals in that Palace side now. Obviously, Elise is there. He's a great player, but yeah, I'll just back West Ham being at home as well. And then the big one on Sunday, game of the Sunday, and that is City at home to Spurs. So again, Haaland captainers will be watching this one closely, see how Haaland does, whether he can outscore Salah. And yes, Spurs, we know, are on the back of 3 losses in a row. So Spurs need to kind of get something on the board here, because they were They've dropped out the top 4. They were top at one point. Man City, coming off the back of a draw to Liverpool as well, they'd want to put that right and go back to winning ways. Do you see Man City winning here? And if so, is it going to be comfortable, or what's your take on this game?
I don't think it'll be comfortable. I think at the start, maybe the first half, it will be a bit challenging holding off Spurs. But I think Man City can just about do it. I think second half might bring more fortune for Man City, as we saw last game for Spurs. They sort of flattened out in the second half due to fatigue and the many injuries that they're suffering from. So I do see a Man City win from this game, but I think Spurs can maybe potentially score against Man City, but I don't see them getting really anything out of it. But so I'm going to say I'll put 3-1 Man City, I think.
3-1 City. I'm going to go for a City win as well. So I agree there. I think City will get the job done. Obviously, they'll need to get back to winning ways. Both teams, last game didn't get a win. So I think that will play a part. And Man City at home, they rarely don't win 2 in a row at home. Man City, for those that actually don't know, they had won 23 games in 23 games. So they won 23 home games in a row before Liverpool drew to them. So that was Man City's last game week, was their first non-win at Etihad, which is crazy. So I don't see where Spurs winning or Spurs having much luck there. So I'll go 2-1 Man City win. I don't think it'll be high scoring in that sense. I don't think Man City will put 4 or 5 past them, but I'll go 2-1 for Man City. So that's the score predictions out the way, guys. Let us know what your score predictions are as well in the chat. If you want to put that in the chat, do go ahead. It'll be nice to see what you guys think as well. Also, big thank you to all the new subscribers. We've got a few new subscribers that have joined the community, which is always great to see. We are very close to 1,000 now, so make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you share the video as well to anyone that's interested in FPL. There's loads of content to come this week, next week, because as we know, there's games every couple of days, it seems. So should be a very good time for FPL and FPL content. So just want to say a big thank you to everyone that has watched and tuned in. And yeah, I think that's it from us. We're going to wrap it up here. We're nearly 2 hours streaming. Big thank you to everyone, as I said. And yeah, anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we head out?
Just thank you guys for obviously watching. It's always appreciated, and welcome to the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, enjoy obviously the weekend. There's a lot of fixtures Saturday and Sunday to watch, and hopefully by come Sunday we all have a nice high scoring week and hopefully green arrows. But until then, take care, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, see you Sunday, 7 p.m. Knee jerk. Be there, guys. It's going to be a good stream. I know it is. So make sure you tune in.